The Nkoveni female is a leopard that makes up the vast majority of our leopard viewing in the southeastern parts of the reserve. However, she has now shifted her territory, or has been seen a number of times, very far west of the Londolozi camps, in what would be in our minds the Ximungwe female's territory. Now, we're not sure why. There's a number of possible theories. Firstly, she could have detected that the Ximungwe female is on the decline, having injured her leg a good few months ago. Maybe she hasn't been patrolling her territory or rasping or calling as much as she would have in the past. There could also be a bit too much pressure from the lions in the east, the Nsevu Pride, the Kambula Pride, and all the Nzenga males moving around there. That could be sort of making it a less appealing, less attractive area, since she has also lost 2 of her cubs from this litter to the Kambula Pride. So maybe she's deciding to shift further west into a less competitive area from the other predators. There could also be maybe a little bit too much competition coming from the Three Rivers female with her daughter, as they've been seen quite far sort of north into where the Nkoveni female is also being seen with her youngster. So that's a possible theory. A last possibility is maybe she is trying to cede a little bit more territory to the Ximungwe female, who's taken over the territory of the Black Rock female and has been shifting a little bit further south. So it could be a combination of all of what I have mentioned already. But the fact of the matter is, we are now seeing the Nkoveni female way over in the western parts of Londolozi, which is interesting. We're going to enjoy a lovely little sighting with the Ximungwe female and her youngster, who were joined by the Maxim's male in the late afternoon. And they were just busy milling about and moving around. And what was fascinating about this sighting, and I've never heard this before, but now we had the enormous Maxim's male, who is a formidable male leopard, now giving off a very gentle contact call, trying to call the Ximungwe female's cub. And so seeing a male leopard interacting with a young leopard cub is always interesting, because we don't see it too often. It's not a very common sighting to see. So having him give off these gentle contact calls and the cub actually come across to him was great. It's just the size difference between the two of them, and hearing a large male leopard like that give off such a gentle, caring, nurturing little contact call was interesting. Anyway, the Ximungwe female was full of beans and she climbed up into a tree in the distance. The male was just resting around here, constantly calling. The cub was playing around. We could hear them running through the reeds in the distance. was quite an awesome view because we were parked at a distance looking through some vegetation. It was almost like we were disconnected from it and just watching into this epic little world of a mother leopard and her cub. And then we're going to close out this virtual safari with a scene that might be quite familiar for any of those of you that watched our video that we put out about the TWIP 700, or the Week in Pictures 700. We headed across to where the Makhatini female cheetah and her 3 cubs was found. They were lying out in the open, very short grass, incredible view. After some time, the cubs decided to get a little playful, and watching them wrestling and playing with each other with some nice little wildflowers in front of them. It was a stunning view with the rolling hills in the distance. But the Makhatini family have been quite scarce since we last saw them have that run-in with the Nsevu pride over that impala carcass. They had disappeared quite far west and have been roaming around, covering pretty large distances. In my opinion, female cheetah are not necessarily territorial. They will cover what's known as a home range, and that will take them into the far distant corners of the suitable habitat or terrain for them to then hunt. Because we only really see one female cheetah around here on Londolozi and some of our neighbouring reserves, she has a lot of space to move around. And she's going to be moving, looking for prey, but also avoiding any threats or danger. Eventually they moved across and settled down underneath a little bush close to our vehicle, in the shade, just trying to evade the heat of the day. And that gave us a nice little close-up view of these very wide, curious eyes of some of the cubs, as they were just sort of bonding underneath the bush there. So we decided to let them be. Nice little touch base with the Makhatini family. Without further ado, we're going to start heading back towards camp, but I hope you've enjoyed all of these little sightings in this week's virtual safari. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and it'll keep you in the loop with any more of these amazing videos. But if you do subscribe, we'll see you back here again next weekend. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.